it's time to close the pool, so I'm going to be closing it in steps. I never do it all in one day. It's kind of like a gradual process, so I'll go through all the steps. The first thing that I do is make sure it's clean. So I'm going to be cleaning it the next few days, and then I'll be covering the slide, covering the diving board, lowering the water level below the skimmer and the jets, blowing out the lines, winterizing it, putting in pool antifreeze, and then covering the pool ultimately. So I'm going to go over those steps, but the first thing you want to do is get it as spotless as you can, because you want the water clean for next year when you open the pool. Next, you want to remove the pool ladders, and I have a separate video on that called removing stubborn pool ladders or something. But we had 2 ladders. I took those out, and then it leaves these holes here, and what I do is I take the shop vac and take the water out of the holes, and then I just pour a tiny bit of pool chlorine in there. Pool antifreeze. Now, going into the pool house, I disassemble the pump from the lines. I take them right off. That way I can blow air. When I blow the lines out, I can blow air right into it and put the antifreeze in really easily. But I also took the plug off the pump. It's still kind of dripping. I can kind of tip it, get the water all out, just so it doesn't freeze. So I'm tipping this whole thing. And then I also took the plug off the sand filter down here last night, and that got all the water out of that. So on to the next phase, which is, oh, get off the deck, get off there, go, 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 chasing the chickens off the deck. Then I'm taking the sub pump and draining the water, not only below the skimmer, but it has to be below the jets, so I can blow out the lines. There's one jet, the other one is way over there at the other end of the pool, and so I gotta lower the water to blow the jets, blow the lines out, plug them up, put antifreeze in them, and then raise the water back up over the jets, but keep it below the skimmer. Keep the water below the skimmer. Next thing we have to do is just get all the water out of the skimmer with a shop vac. So I have the shop vac, the water level is below the skimmer, and I'm gonna suck the rest of the water out with this shop vac. Okay, now I'm going to turn the shop vac so that it blows air out, and I'm going to put the end of the shop vac in here. Turn the main drain off. The main drain is in the bottom of the pool, so I'm going to turn that to off because I only want to blow out the skimmer right now. So I'm going to turn the shop vac on, and hopefully we'll see water shooting out of the skimmer. Now that I've blown out the skimmer, I'm going to pour some pool antifreeze in there, in this end, and in the end inside the pool hut. So I'll put this about a half a jug in this way. Just so if there is any water left, it's not going to freeze. Then I take this plug. It has water in it. It's made for this. It's got a screw on the end, or threads on the end. And then I'm gonna, not too hard, but plug that so if it rains, water doesn't seep down in there under the cover. So you don't want it too tight, just, you know, snug. Splash a little more antifreeze, or pool antifreeze for good measure. And then this side of the skimmer is now closed, so put your lid on it. There we go. Now to get antifreeze, pool antifreeze in the other end of the skimmer into here, to go down in here, I made this funnel with a tube taped to it so that I can put it in here, kind of adjust it in there, and then I'm going to pour my antifreeze right into the funnel. Oh, the chickens are being loud right now. They're mad. Okay, so now I've closed the skimmer. I put it on off, and now I'm going to blow air into the main drain, which the main drain is at the bottom of the pool. It's the drain in the very bottom of the deep end of the pool. I'm going to blow that line out just to get some of the water out of that. So I'm going to put my shop vac attachment on the end and blow into the main drain. Next, I'm going to be blowing the water out of the two jets in the pool. This one, that one right there, and there's one right there at this end. So I'm going to blow air with the shop vac. Put it on filter. It has to be on filter. And then put this on here. And it's flowing all the excess water out of the sand filter. And it's also blowing water out of the jet. But I also need to, once all the water's out of the sand filter, I'm gonna plug it and blow it again so that the air doesn't escape out of the sand filter. Now you gotta plug your jets so that no water gets in. So when you put the, there's one last little bug in the pool to let out. Plug it up, because you're going to be raising the water level back up over these jets, but under the skimmer when you put the cover on, because you can't leave the water level down this far. The cover will have nothing to float on. So get those plugged, both of them. Next, I'm going to pour pool antifreeze using the funnel. This is set on filter. I'm going to do it into here, and I'm going to take the lid off here and put it into here so it can go down these pipes underground and then in here so the pool antifreeze can go into the sand filter a little bit. So I'm going to plug this hole with a magic eraser that can later be used in the skimmer floating to get algae out. They're really good for that. Okay, now that the lines are blown out and the antifreeze is in, we need to fill the pool back up to just above the jets. So the water's just covering the jets, but it needs to be below the skimmer. So see that bottom rope, this bottom rope detail on the liner, to about that is where we're going to fill it back up to, and then we can cover it. Now before I cover it, I'm going to clean it again because we have a lot of trees in our yard, and so a lot of leaves have blown back in that I haven't been able to keep under control. So I'm going to simultaneously fill it up with water and clean at the same time. Last thing is just to put the cover on and set the balloon filled with water on the edge all around the cover just to hold it on. And that's it. If the water level gets too high and goes above the skimmer, like if it rains, before winter, then I'll take the sub pump and pull a corner back and put it in there and drain some more water off, but that's all.